Hello everybody, this is Eric Wire from Between the Bolter and Me, and I'm back again with another unboxing video of yet another Kingdom Death expansion, this one being the Dung Beetle Knight Expansion. So it's another one of the smaller Knight expansions going along with like the Flower Knight. And so I guess I will get right into it. Yeah, so as I said, it's one of these smaller box expansions. But I believe, unlike the Flower Knight, this one actually comes with some like survivor models. But we will see that shortly just by pulling this stuff out here. Alright. So we have our deck of cards with all the resources and whatnot. And then we have the whole host of models here. And here it seems to be a separate base here. Oh, let me just pull out everything here. Then I guess these are the smaller gear cards. A bunch of additional packing peanuts, which we'll set off to the side here. Well, I guess we can start with the actual instruction manual here, which is so. Again, another small instruction manual, just sort of telling you about the actual expansion and how you can add them to a current campaign, or if you're starting a new campaign, where to put them within the Lantern year. And let's just move on here. It has a whole host of additional rules talking about this Calcified Gear, which just seems to be something you can do with some of the equipment. It actually comes with this separate model, this dung ball, which I think it seems it plays some role in the game itself, and it has all these rules about like how it can move around and how the monster or different people are hit by it and what happens, but quite how that works I'm not sure. But yeah, like all the other ones, it has kind of an initial story that you will read, and eventually it culminates in the actual like ability to hunt the monster, or maybe various other story elements that ultimately arrive at like actually fighting the monster, which here we go, there he is. Kind of an interesting looking knight. He all his rules and how to encounter him, as well as a bunch of other various story events, splunking of death. So I guess this is a way to explore various caves and such, which I think, I'm not sure exactly how this will ultimately show up, which here's some more like underground sort of things. Continuing like harvest things. Yeah, 'cause I had heard this scenario introduced sort of agriculture, which this sort of appears to be it, but it nightmare corn, vampiric artichoke. Yeah, so I guess it's introducing agriculture, but it still has the Kingdom Death flair of kind of absurd and grim. And I think that's largely it for the rules. So another interesting expansion to look into, but let's look at some of the other components. Which I guess here, this contains all of the little dividers to separate the cards in the box, as well as, in this case, another, yes, as I said, the dividers themselves. And then this here is actually one of a new location card that you can, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure how you get it added to your settlement, but it allows you to produce a whole host of different gear and such. Which, yeah, I'll set this off to the side too. And we can quickly look through, I guess, yeah, we can look through some of these gear cards. that are made from that location we just saw. See what the stuff looks like. Seems like a particular jewel. There's only one of these. Oh, so these are actually rare gear. An interesting crown. A regenerating blade. Can't help but think of Soul Calibur and Ivory's whip sword when I see that. But I don't know, I don't think that's quite what this is, but it's neither here nor there. Some greaves. Shoulder pad. It seems this is a modified version of this sword, which was also in the base game. It seems like you can calcify this one, which I guess affects its stats. Digging claw, which can also be calcified. Here's a badge. I think you might get this for the person who actually defeats the knight, or the first time defeats a knight, will get various badges which will allow these tactics cards to be used by the survivors in subsequent games. But I'm not entirely sure how that works. So yeah, a bunch of additional equipment that it's always good to see more of. We can get into all the rest of the cards here. It's quite a stack of them. Alright, so I guess to start out, we actually have a new set of armor. When you would be knocked down, instead suffer knockback. So it prevents you from being knocked down. That's kind of nice. And then it seems like you get various bonuses when you have the different things here. That's kind of neat. But then, yeah, I guess this actually gets to the actual Beetle himself and his basic actions and the different levels of him. But then some secret fighting arts. More secret fighting arts. Or in this, just the fighting arts. Some additional innovations, including, yeah, this agriculture one. This seems to be some rules for this interesting, or is this a, yeah, or I guess, okay, so this Dung Ball seems to be a piece of terrain that I assume it just shows up anytime you're fighting the beetle. But then we have some new disorders. One of these tactics, which I think, as I mentioned, you can get if you defeat the knight. Yeah, a few of them. And then now just probably a whole host of these different AI cards, which I'll just quickly go through, but not spend any particular time on, because I feel a lot of this stuff ultimately it's more interesting if you just let it come up in the actual game. Whew. Damage of 6. It's not very good. Certainly do a number on all the characters that I currently have in my settlement that Greg and I have been playing, that we're on maybe on Lantern year 8 or 9, so not too far, but some legendary traits. Rainbow Beetle. Look at him, he's all sparkly and happy. Yeah, so there are a whole bunch of these particular ones. Dung milk, well that's something. Ground pound. More of this. It's actually a survivor status, huh? Some more survivor status. Whole bunch of them. Yeah, so there's just a lot of these particular. Oh, now we're actually getting into the actual hit location deck. Some super dense particular locations. Then yeah, just a lot of the actual hit location decks, and again they have this nice art at the top, which changes for every particular encounter, and then even the back has this nice little seagull for each particular monster. The Dreaded Trap. Here a whole bunch of, they have a bunch of story or hunt event cards that are specifically work with when you're actually trying to hunt and find them, replacing the general events. And then just a lot of actual resource card that you can get from fighting the monster. It's an eye. Yeah, so a lot of interesting stuff here. Look forward to actually seeing what happens in the game, but should be fun. I don't know. There are a lot of expansions to add here, and I'm not sure if I actually might have to slowly start to add them to our current campaign. But I guess, yeah, let's actually get to the model here, which is one of the bases, and then in the actual bag of models here. Okay, so let's separate this stuff here. So you see here's another 50mm base just for the actual guy himself, and here's actually, it seems, a 30mm base for this, I guess, survivor model that they give you here. And let's see here. Yeah, so it has one survivor here. The head. I guess it looks like, yeah, one survivor. Looks nice. I don't know, for some reason I thought there were two survivors. Oh, I guess this does have the other survivor here. So here's the other survivor. And all the different weapon options. These are the Zimbatu or whatever, or maybe this is that regenerating sword, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, so that's interesting. They only actually gave you one 30mm base for these two guys. I don't know if that was a mistake, or I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot because I have a lot of them. But yeah, so these pieces look pretty nice, can't complain. And then the actual knight themselves, here's this resin dung ball. It's very weird, kind of reminds me of like a Bayonet or something from Berserk. But the thing's pretty big, like basically the size of a 50mm base here. And I guess here's Slender Man assembled, so pretty large. And then the actual knight themselves is largely separated over here. You have his sword here. Here's kind of the top of his shoulder, and then the actual kind of torso with his legs, the bottom of his legs, and here's his kind of wicked head with this large horn. So yeah, let's see here. So yeah, all the pieces look pretty nice, nicely detailed. Overall, I've been pretty impressed with the detail on these particular kits. I think they're a bit better than some of the models in the actual just base game. Like, Adam Boots spent more time to try to make it a really nice, faithful transition from the resin to plastic, which is cool, like all this nice texture on his body and such. Yeah, so he looks quite good. I'll hopefully get him together quite soon here, and maybe get a post of him showing him talking about how it went together and if there were many gaps or anything like that to deal with. Whereas I'm pleased to say Slender Man went together really nicely, not really many gaps or anything like that. So overall, I've been pretty impressed here, and hopefully this will continue. Well, thanks for watching this unboxing video, and guess I still have one more, the Dragon King, to unbox, which I'll probably do shortly here. So stay tuned and look out for that. And as always, continue to look at the blog, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and thanks for listening. Over and out.